A 75-year-old suspect in the Thanksgiving murder has died. On the morning of Thursday, the 23rd of November, authorities responded to a home in the area of Post Street in Inverness, Florida on report that a possible homicide had taken place. When deputies arrived at the residence, they knocked on the front door and announced themselves. When there was no answer, they began checking the home's perimeter. In the backyard, they saw a large butcher's knife along with blood and drag marks on the ground. Deputies again attempted to make contact with the resident before going inside the house. Upon entry, they found 75-year-old Jonathan Dimmick Sr. sitting in the living room, unresponsive but still alive with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his stomach. Medics attempted life-saving measures on Jonathan and he was flown by helicopter to hospital, where he later died. Further investigation led deputies to the dismembered body of 67-year-old James Banks, who was found in the trunk of his own vehicle. Authorities said they identified Jonathan as a suspect in James's murder, who then fatally shot himself inside his home. The relationship of both men and the motive in the slaying is unclear. Citrus County Sheriff Mike Prendergast said, "The scene our deputies responded to was absolutely shocking. It is rare that a case this horrific occurs in Citrus County, but this is what we prepare for. It is truly unfortunate that our suspect will never be prosecuted for this brutal crime. However, thanks to our caller's courage and our team's quick response, Mr. Banks's family can begin their grieving process with the knowledge that no one will ever suffer again at the hands of Mr. Dimmick." 25-year-old McKinley Sloan Hernandez is behind bars and is accused of injuring a 2-year-old toddler in her care. McKinley was taken into custody on Thursday the 23rd of November after a warrant for her arrest was issued for child abuse of a 2-year-old boy who was seriously injured in Lakewood, Colorado in September. The boy's mother, Stephanie Reichert, said, "You never know it would happen to you, especially by someone who you consider a friend." Stephanie said McKinley won't admit to anything. All she said is she was drinking and he got hurt in her care. Stephanie said McKinley regularly watched her son along with others at an unlicensed Lakewood childcare facility at her home. She said McKinley had agreed to watch her son overnight on the 1st of September, but texted her at around 8 p.m. that something had happened. "I received a message from McKinley saying I needed to rush to St. Anthony's Hospital because my son had gone lifeless after a bath. Once I saw him and all the 50 doctors standing around, I had to leave the room because it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life," she said. Stephanie said Giovanni suffered blunt force trauma injuries to his head and body, but she still doesn't know exactly what happened. She said he had to have part of his skull removed because of the swelling and bleeding on his brain. Giovanni's family spent weeks in the hospital and now back at hospital for another surgery. Stephanie says she worries about the lifelong impacts of the injuries on her son as they anticipate a long road to recovery. "He doesn't like strangers," she said. "Now he doesn't like nurses and doctors. He doesn't let anyone touch him. We have to do everything for them in there." McKinley's been held at the Jefferson County Jail on a $100,000 bond. The investigation into the matter continues. 42-year-old Edward Kim is behind bars for holding a woman against her will and torturing her at his residence over 2 days. On Thursday the 16th of November, the woman managed to escape from Edward's apartment, located at Craigmont Villas at 4300 North Lamont Street in Las Vegas, Nevada. Authorities responded to the area on numerous reports of finding a woman covered in wounds to her hands, feet and chest. She was taken to University Medical Center with severe traumatic injuries, and there told staff that she was beaten with bolt cutters, restrained with zip ties, and her hair was set on fire with a torch lighter. Doctors found multiple fractures to the woman's legs, a closed fracture to the nasal bone, contusions to her upper torso, fractures to her fingers, singed hair, and signs of sexual assault. Officers returned to the scene after speaking with the woman. There they found blood on the porch and tried to make contact with Edward. He was later found at a nearby park, and officers found he had an outstanding warrant for his arrest on arson charges. Edward told officers that he did not know how the woman was injured and told them about sounds he heard in the attic. Eventually, Edward admitted that he and the victim had been messing around and claimed he was not really a criminal. Police recovered bolt cutters, zip ties, and security footage from Edward's apartment. Edward was arrested on numerous kidnapping, sexual assault, battery, and arson charges. He sat at the Clark County Detention Center without bond and is scheduled to appear in court for a preliminary hearing on the 5th of December. The investigation into the matter continues.